Hey, welcome to quiz time. I'm your quiz master, Sean, and I've got 100 questions for you. Stuff that will stretch your brain, cause you to remember stuff, and have a little bit of fun learning things we didn't already know. So, let's get on with the fun, shall we? Who was the first woman to receive a medical degree in the U.S.? Was it Mary Edwards Walker, Florence Nightingale, or Elizabeth Blackwell? The first woman to receive a medical degree in the U.S. was Elizabeth Blackwell. What chemical compound gives toothpaste its smooth, gel-like consistency? Is it sodium chloride, glycerin, or silica? And that consistency comes from glycerin. What makes epoxy glues unusually strong? Is it the solvent bond, the cross-linked polymers, or is it a result of single-chain bonding? It's a result of cross-linked polymers. Which major sports brand released the first commercially available 3D printed running shoe midsole? Nike, Reebok, or Adidas? And that would be Adidas. What is the approximate color temperature of natural daylight? Is it 5500 K, 2500 K, or 7000 K? As in Kelvin? 5500 K. The world's first public coal-fired power station was installed in which city? Was it Berlin, London, or Chicago? And it was installed in London. Early 20th century face powders often contained which toxic element? Arsenic, cadmium, or lead? And they contained lead. Which materials did Volta use in his first battery? Did he use silver and nickel, iron and copper, or zinc and copper? Volta used zinc and copper. Which process helps pineapples make food in dry conditions? Is it C2, C4, or CAM? And that would be CAM. Large void hollow blocks are most suitable for which application? Building foundations, partition walls, or floor reinforcements? And that would be partition walls. How is tempered glass strengthened compared to ordinary glass? Is it strengthened through chemical coatings, rapid cooling, or laminated layers? And that would be through rapid cooling. Which country introduced the first zebra crossing for pedestrian safety? Was that first introduced in the United States, the UK, or in Japan? It was first introduced in the UK. Which expansion device is commonly used in window-type AC units? Is it a capillary tube, a heat exchanger, or a piston pump? And that would be a capillary tube. Gluten in dough provides what functional property? Is it for moisture retention, that brown color and taste, or the elastic structure? Gluten provides elasticity in bread dough. Which chemical reaction causes browning and flavor in bread crust? Is it caramelization, oxidation, or Maillard reaction? And that's a result of Maillard reaction. Bromelain extracted from pineapple primarily acts on which macromolecule? Protein, lipid, or nucleic acid? And that would be protein. Which chemical compound gives cinnamon its flavor and smell? Is it coumarin, vanillin, or cinnamaldehyde? It is cinnamaldehyde, I think. Who is credited with inventing the first wearable eyeglasses in the 13th century? Was it Alhazen, Salvino Darmat, or Galileo Galilei? Who invented the first wearable eyeglasses? Salvino Darmate. Hair turns white when which cells decrease? Fibroblasts, keratinocytes, or melanocytes? When melanocytes decrease, hair turns gray. Not yet. Gasoline is primarily produced from which fraction of crude oil during refining? Kerosene, naphtha, or diesel? And that would be naphtha. Naphtha. Red paint fades fastest because of what environmental factor? Air pressure, low temperature, or UV light? It fades fastest due to the effects of UV light. What is the main structural purpose of sloped roofs on waiting sheds? Sun protection, wind resistance, or rainwater drainage? And that would be rainwater drainage. The first internal combustion engine truck was developed in which decade? Was it the 1870s, the 1890s, or the 1910s? And that would be the 1890s. Which structural element primarily supports a cantilevered balcony? Railing, balustrade, or concrete beams? And that would be concrete beams. Which reaction makes old oil paintings darken over time? Evaporation solvents, oxidation of pigments, or the polymerization of varnish? And that would be the oxidation of pigments. The first machine to mass produce flat-bottom paper bags was designed by whom? Francis Wall, Margaret Knight, or Eli Whitney? And they were produced by Margaret Knight. The human neck contains how many cervical vertebrae? 7, 9, or 5? The human neck contains 7 cervical vertebrae. The Adam's apple is a visible protrusion of which cartilage? The cricoid, thyroid cartilage, or the epiglottic cartilage? That is from the thyroid cartilage. The first practical windmills originated in which region? China, Spain, or Persia? They originated in the region of Persia. Which scientist's uncertainty principle transformed quantum mechanics? Was it Schrödinger, Heisenberg, or Planck? The uncertainty principle, from the mind of Heisenberg. What biochemical event marks the start of a gate cycle? A heel strike, a swing phase, or the toe off? That would be the heel strike. What is a typical walking pace for adults? Is it 70 steps per minute, 100 steps per minute, or 150 steps per minute? Typically, it's 100 steps per minute. What term describes the patterned bottom surface of a shoe that provides grip? Do we call that an outsole tread, a heel cup, or is that known as a midsole? And that would be the outsole tread. Which sewing technique strengthens seams by doubling stitches? The zigzag technique, the back stitch, or hemming? And we call that the back stitch. The ancient major oak associated with Robin Hood is located in, is that in the Sherwood Forest, the Kielder Forest, or the Epping Forest? And that would be the Sherwood Forest. The barrel of most disposable syringes is made of what? Is it made of silicone, polypropylene, or PVC? And the barrel of most disposable syringes is made out of polypropylene. Traditional burlap sacks are woven from fibers of which plant? Are they woven from hemp, flax, or jute? Traditional burlap sacks are made from jute. Which ancient civilization first used the marshmallow plant in sweets for gods and nobles? Ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, or Byzantium? And that would be ancient Egypt. Santa's reindeer were first named in which famous 1823 poem? Christmas Carol, The Night Before Christmas, or A Visit from St. Nicholas? That's from A Visit from St. Nicholas. Halloween originated from which ancient Celtic festival? The Imbolc, the Samhain, or Beltane? And that originated from the Samhain festival. Zip codes were introduced in the United States in which decade? The 1960s, the 1950s, or the 1970s? And zip codes came about in the 1960s. In Gothic cathedrals, what do you call the ornate doorway structure framing the main entrance? A transept, a portal, or a nave? We call that the portal. When a metal spoon feels cold to the touch, which property causes that? Density, conductivity, or reflectivity? That is a product of conductivity. What's the term for the faint partial edge of a shadow? Is that the penumbra, the umbra, or is that halation? And that is a penumbra. When a wire hanger produces tiny sparks after being rubbed, what phenomenon is occurring? Is that electromagnetic induction, static discharge, or friction? And that would be static discharge. What causes the thin skin that forms on top of soup? Is it oil separation, starch thickening, or protein drying? And that would be protein drying. Which early keyboard introduced modifier keys like Control and Alt? Would that be the Xerox Alto, the IBM Selectric, or the Space Cadet keyboard? That would be the Space Cadet keyboard. Why do soap bubbles display shifting rainbow colors? Is that due to diffraction, some sort of interference, or refraction through air? And that's caused by interference. What physical property primarily determines the pitch of a sound wave? Amplitude, frequency, or wavelength? The pitch of a sound wave, that is the product of frequency. What element is primarily responsible for the green color of emeralds? Is it chromium, copper, or vanadium? And that color is due to chromium. The sun generates its energy primarily through which process? Gravitational contraction, nuclear fission, or nuclear fusion? The sun is a giant nuclear fusion reactor. Why are dark desks less ideal for long computer use? Is it because they absorb heat, because they cause eye strain, or they reduce monitor brightness? Dark surfaces cause eye strain. Which feature was part of the Minoan's advanced plumbing system? Flushing toilets, rainwater storage, or aqueducts? They had flushing toilets. Ancient Egyptians used which substance in mummification? Was it saltpeter, frankincense, or natron? And in mummification, they used natron. Why do the Dani people of Papua traditionally cut off a finger joint? Yikes! Is that a marriage ritual? Are they mourning a death? Or is that some kind of tribal punishment? They're mourning a death. Eey. As part of their traditional rituals, the Maasai people drink a mixture of milk and what? Milk and goat's milk? Fermented maize? Or cow's blood? Cow's blood. Why are plug pins typically made of brass? Because of their durability, their conductivity, or is it because of their flexibility? It's because of their conductivity. Which breathing condition is common in pugs? Do they get asthma, pulmonary fibrosis, or brachycephalic syndrome? Pugs tend to get brachycephalic syndrome. What does a digital camera sensor convert light into? Does it turn light into magnetic fields, electrical signals, or thermal energy? They convert light into electric signals. Why do fountain pen inks flow consistently onto paper? Is it due to capillary action, air movement, or magnetic field? It's due to capillary action. Why do pigment inks fade less than dye inks? Is it the high viscosity, the insolubility in solvents, or because of its thicker coating? It's due to its insolubility in solvents. What microscopic process makes metals expand when heated? Electron flow, ionization, or is it atom vibration? And that would be atom vibration. A lack of vitamin B12 mainly affects what? The nervous system, muscle contraction, or electrolyte balance? A lack of vitamin B12 mainly affects the nervous system. Caffeine keeps you awake by blocking which brain receptor? Is it adenosine, GABA, or dopamine? Caffeine blocks adenosine. The human heart has how many chambers? 2 chambers, 4 chambers, or 6 chambers? The human heart has 4 chambers. What does the Hubble telescope avoid by orbiting above Earth? Solar radiation, gravitational drag, or atmospheric distortion? It avoids atmospheric distortion. Which living mammal group retains the reptilian trait of egg laying? Marsupials, monotremes, or placental mammals? And that would be monotremes. Galileo's most powerful telescope, used in his 1610 observations, magnified about what? 10 to 15 times, 20 to 30 times, or 40 to 50 times? About 20 to 30x times. What was the name of Thomas Edison's first motion picture camera? Was it the kinetograph, the kinetoscope, or the zoopraxiscope? It was called the kinetograph. Which insect can survive freezing and revive after thawing? The mountain stone weta, a snow flea, or the Antarctic midge? And that'd be the mountain stone weta. Which farming method minimizes soil erosion? Monocropping, burning stubble, or contour plowing? And that would be contour plowing. In the English countryside, what does the term hedgerow refer to? The narrow rural footpath, a line of shrubs, or a stone fence? It refers to a line of shrubs. Who primarily appoints most life peers to the UK House of Lords? The Prime Minister, the Monarch, or the Lord Chancellor? The UK House of Lords are appointed by the Prime Minister. Rhode Island was founded as a refuge for whom? Indentured servants, gold prospectors, or religious dissenters? Primarily for religious dissenters. Why can't butterflies fly when their body temperatures drop below 13 degrees Celsius? Is it because their muscles lose power, their wings stiffen, or their nerves slow down? It's because their muscles lose power. Which nutrient is high in dragon fruit seeds? Protein, omega fats, or sugars and zinc? That would be omega fats. Traditional ballet flats use which material for the sole? Cork, rubber, or do they use leather? Traditional ballet flats use leather. Firefighters' turnout gear uses which fabric to resist high temperatures? Do they use nylon, Kevlar, or Nomex? They use Nomex. Which structure within the brainstem triggers REM sleep? Is it the medulla, the pons, or the thalamus? That would be the pons. At about how many weeks do fingerprints form in a fetus? 10 to 15 weeks, 20 to 24 weeks, or 25 to 30 weeks? Fingerprints form at 10 to 15 weeks. Traditional quill pens were most commonly made from the feathers of which bird? Crows, peacocks, or gooses? Traditional quill pens were made from the feathers of goose. What is added to cement to control its setting time? Is it calcium silicate hydrate, iron oxide, or gypsum? They add gypsum to cement to control its setting time. Which stellar class is known for having the shortest lifespan? G-type stars, O-type stars, or M-type stars? Which one has the shortest lifespan? O-type stars. The ukulele originated from an adaptation of which Portuguese instrument? The machete, the balalaika, or the mandolin? It is an adaptation from the machete. Which tuning is standard for a soprano ukulele? Is it ADGB, GCEA, or DGBE? They're tuned to G, C, E, and A. The modern piano evolved from which earlier instrument? The modern piano evolved from the harpsichord, the virginal, or the dulcimer? They derive from the harpsichord. How do scents from an ultrasonic diffuser spread through the air? Is it through vapor condensation, electrostatic dispersion, or is it from diffusion? And that comes through diffusion. What's the purpose of the hopper in a rear loader garbage truck? Is it to measure the volume of the trash, to hold trash before compaction, or does it filter liquids? It holds trash before compaction. The first CCTV, used in 1942 Germany, monitored what? Did it monitor prisons, air raid coordination, or the launch of rockets? It monitored the launch of rockets. Who is credited with the first practical design of the modern zipper? Was that Elias Howe, Samuel Morse, or Gideon Sunback? And that would be Gideon Sunback. What does YKK on zippers stand for? Is it Yamada Kogyo, Yoshida Kogyo Kabushiki Gaisha, or Yokohama Kekai Kabushiki? It's Yoshida Kogyo Kabushika Gaisha. Which fingerprint pattern typically is the rarest globally? Is it the loop, the arch, or the whorl? The rarest globally is the arch. Which brain part intercepts optical illusions? The occipital lobe, the parietal lobe, or the frontal lobe? And that would be the occipital lobe. The longest recorded period a person has gone without sleep is approximately how long? 11 days? 15 days? Or 8 days? Because after that, bad things happen. 11 days. Which principle divides government power among branches to prevent abuse? Is it judicial review, separation of powers, or popular sovereignty? Separation of powers. The concept of a 2-day weekend first arose in which country? Was it France, the United States, or the United Kingdom? And that concept first arose in the United Kingdom. Which early human species first used fire intentionally? Was it Homo erectus, Homo habilis, or was it Neanderthal man? That was Homo erectus. Which 1960s girl group had a hit produced by Phil Spector's Wall of Sound? Was it the Shirelles, the Ronettes, or the Supremes? And that group was the Ronettes. What type of chemical compound is pyrethrin, commonly found in household insect sprays? Is it an alkaloid, an ester, or an amine? That would be an ester. And now, question 100. Which city, known for global courts, is called the legal capital of the world? Is it Amsterdam, Zurich, or The Hague? And that city is The Hague. Hey, there you have it. You've done an amazing job. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Drop your score in the comments, please. And since you're already here, check out these videos. They're also really interesting. I'll catch you next one. Bye-bye.